Well, hello, everybody. What's up? It is Friday. This is our Friday Night Live, and it's time for Pop and Politics. I'm KJ. Let me introduce you to my co-hosts. Of course, we have Yana.
Hello.
Nicole Bennett.
Hey, y'all.
And Shelly E.
Hi, everybody.
All right, we have so much to talk about. President Trump is winning and winning in a big way. It feels like everybody that comes up against him falls. We're going to get into it. The canceling of the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. We're going to get into the Russia hoax connected to former President Barack Obama and more. But before we light this fire, do your part. Tap that thumbs up, smash that subscribe button, and turn on your notifications. We're live on YouTube and Rumble. And if you're on the go, catch us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify under the name Pop and Politics. We love our chat. We shout out every super chat. So drop your thoughts, show your love, and join the conversation that mainstream media wishes didn't exist. This is not just a podcast. This is a movement of God-fearing, truth-seeking, America-loving people that value freedom. Stand with us and subscribe so we can amplify this rallying call for freedom. All right, ladies, let's set it off. Got so much to get into. Let's start out with this cancellation. So CBS just pulled the plug on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, and the liberal media is in full meltdown mode. It's a kick in the stomach, shocking, the end of the area. You think someone died. This is some of the things they've been acting. But here's the truth. Colbert's show was nothing more than late night group therapy for the far left. It mocked conservatives relentlessly, pushed DNC talking points, and burned through over $100 million a year while losing $40 million annually. So let's break this down. I want to start off with you, Nicole. What did you think of this cancellation?
It's about time. That show sucked. It sucked for a long, long time. I didn't like Stephen Colbert when he was on cable. So him coming to network TV wasn't a big deal for me. But he seemed to get more virulent, more hateful. Mm-hmm. He didn't have any middle road, and he went full bore against half of America. So I guess from our half, I'm glad to see him gone. He's one of the reasons why people don't watch late night TV anymore anyway. So no harm, no foul. I'm glad to see him gone.
Yeah. Shelly, what are your thoughts on this? Because, some people are saying that this was not right, that President Trump, so like CBS is taking a bribe to do President Trump's bidding. What are your thoughts there?
Look, first of all, I don't know if they're doing his bidding. I actually thought that opening was funny, even though I'm a supporter of President Trump. I thought his monologue there was pretty funny. Taking poke at the Paramount settlement with President Trump. I thought it was funny, at least for once. I don't watch him often, so I don't have a skin in this game. However, I would say that I don't know if it's right or wrong, good or bad, but you will not convince me that it had nothing to do with that monologue and his politics. I think Paramount got a little pissy and, a little crybabyish because he was poking fun at them, which he pokes fun at a lot of people, mostly conservatives, yes. But I just think they were a little hurting if they got in their feelings because, he said something about them paying that settlement and they canned him. His ratings have declined, but he was still number one in some key demographics.
All right. Which key demographics?
I think according to the New York Post, the 25 to 54 demographics, he has lost some viewers over the years, but he was still number one. So it was a little mixed. But my point is that they waited until he did that monologue, or at least now, and all of a sudden now he's canned. Come on now, get a whatever.
Yeah. Before I get you in on this, Yana, here he is again over the years, just wigging out over President Trump. Take a look here.
Donald Trump has been sworn in as president of the United States. I know. Listen. We're just as confused as you are. Joe Biden did it. I sat down. and just started crying with relief. And Evie said, "You never have to talk about him again." And then I cried with joy. After a bizarre and vicious campaign fueled by a desperate need not to go to jail, Donald Trump has won the 2024 election. Next year will be our last season. The network will be ending The Late Show in May. Donald Trump has been sworn in as president of the United States.
So you can see, Yana, this man had become really unhinged. What are your thoughts?
Well, and he's also very predictable with his one-sided remarks. So someone who is so predictable, it becomes boring. So I can see how he's been losing audience. He's becoming irrelevant. To me, he appears like your dorky liberal dad that you're just tired of hearing his dorky dad jokes that, always one-sided. He also looks like a liberal arts professor. So it's someone who just okay, enough. You're an old man and your jokes are not funny anymore.
Yeah, I agree. I'm happy for it, honestly. I am. It's time that President Trump wins a little bit. The media, the swamp, the people, like government officials on the left, they have been weaponizing law and the cult and the media and all of this for years, going after President Trump. And, I feel like President Trump didn't do anything wrong. If anything, it may have been CBS, but he sued, he won. And so they feel like they need to, clean up this mess that their people have made on their channels. So, I am happy that he was canceled. I am so happy. And again, after Paramount settled Trump's lawsuit over deceptively editing his Kamala Harris interview, Colbert mocked them on air. That same week, The Late Show was canceled. And you have people they are really, just blowing up. They're really taking this a bad way. Take a look at this next clip. This is clip 2.
Brian, CBS is saying this is a financial decision. It is certainly, the timing of this is kind of stunning.
Right, from the optics standpoint, the timing could not be worse for CBS. Colbert is such an outspoken Trump critic. He's just back from vacation, and as he showed there on Monday, on his first night back from vacation, he's also a thorn in his parent company's side. So this looks to a lot of Colbert's fans like another form of capitulation by CBS to the President of the United States. If you look at Colbert's Instagram page already, his fans are pouring their hearts out and blaming CBS for this. Here's the reporting that I have just in the past few minutes, Anderson, about this financial explanation. Think back to 2023 when the Late Show with James Corden went off the air. I reported at the time that show had become unprofitable, that CBS was not able to sell enough ads to make that show profitable. Well, that is now the case for Colbert as well. I'm told by a source close to the network that the Late Show with Stephen Colbert is now technically unprofitable. So that does give the company a financial reason to end the show starting in May 2026. However, it's not as if Colbert was given a chance to take a pay cut or maybe change the format of the show or move out of the Ed Sullivan Theater. This seems to have happened all at once, and it comes on the verge of that big Paramount Skydance merger. Who's taking over Skydance? Larry Ellison, a friend of President Trump, and his son David. So there may be a lot more to this story. It's just happened in the past hour, but there's a lot more reporting to do on this.
Yeah. But, one thing he left out, that not only was The Late Show unprofitable, but it was propaganda. Okay. And again, some people may find him funny. I didn't think he was funny at all, but it was pure propaganda. Most of his jokes were about Republicans. I believe it was 2,340 jokes were aimed at Republicans versus just 479 were aimed at the left. So 0 Republican guests in 2025. 29 liberals were welcomed with open arms. He went after Trump 9 times more than he ever touched Biden. And this is not comedy. It's propaganda. So when you couple that with the idea that it's not even profitable, You got the can. He got the can. He got to go. Get to stepping, like Martin says. All right. So I want you all to sound off in the chat. What do you guys think? Do you think that he should have stayed? He should have been allowed to stay, or you're happy? No harm, no foul. That his show was canceled. Sound off in the chat. We have a super chat here. Kung Fu CJ with the $2 super chat says, "Hey family, I got time tonight. Let's get it." Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Kung Fu CJ. All right. So we are moving right along to, again, President Trump is winning. And this next one is due to about the Russia hoax. So newly declassified intel reveals Barack Obama knew the Trump-Russia collusion narrative was a hoax and helped push it anyway. According to Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, Obama, Brennan, Comey, and Clapper manufactured and politicized intelligence to damage President Trump. The Steele dossier was bogus. The intelligence said Russia had no intent to hack the election, and yet Obama ordered the IC to twist the truth. So let's break this down. I want to get your thoughts on this, Shelley. What did you think about this?
One of my first thoughts was, didn't we already know this? I mean, I guess this is the new part, because, I mean, we've already known that the Russia hoax was a hoax, or the Russia dossier. We've known about Hillary Clinton's and the Democrats' involvement in all of that. So I guess this is a little bit more specificity about some of the goings-ons and back at that time. But what it says to me, it confirms even more, again, how deep the swamp is. I don't care what administration is in. The swamp is so deep. These people in the deep swamp, in the belly of the beast, they are hell-bent on exerting their power, whether or not they were elected or even elected. They believe to a large degree that they get to decide any and everything for the American public. And I mean, it's left me wondering, does our vote really matter? I mean, granted, I know we can vote and we can put people in office, but ultimately the people in the belly of the beast, in my little never to be humble opinion, these are the people who are determining the goings and comings of the American policy. This is what needs to be cleaned out over and over again. We need to get some ammonia, some bleach, whatever else, all the little organic products, and clean house from top to bottom.
Absolutely. Yeah, Nicole, and as Shelley mentioned, we all, as far as conservatives, knew that this was a hoax. But now it seems we have the documents to prove it. And this may seem like, I think President Obama, former President Obama, may get jail time. What are your thoughts on this?
He's definitely not going to get jail time, but I would hope that he would. I mean, if I had a magic wand and could make it happen, I would. But what's interesting is we're starting to see the swamp kind of give up Obama a little bit more, because as you guys remember, both of his terms in office, this man could fart in a crowded room and nobody would say anything. They protected him with everything. But what we're starting to see now are little tiny chinks in the armor, where little stories are starting to come out about him like they've done every other president. That, for me, is what this is very interesting. There are people who are willing to say Barack Obama did not walk on water during his term. He committed all of these grievances and really shady, shallow things that happened during his administration. And it wasn't just other people who did it. He was a part of the tribe. He was a part of the people who pushed the propaganda. And to have someone willing to come out and say that, that's a huge change, because the swamp was protecting him like he was the second coming. I'm so glad to see that people are now telling the truth, letting it out.
Yeah. I mean, the IC had repeatedly assessed that Russia lacked the intent and capability to hack the election. There was no evidence of cyber manipulation or altered election outcomes. So this new report is stating that exactly. Yana, what are your thoughts here?
Well, I want to see some consequences. Just like Nicole was saying, we haven't seen any consequences towards Obama and his co-conspirators, because right now it's considered like a seditious conspiracy. So that means multiple people were involved, and it was the intent was to really undermine the US democracy with this case. They were really saying that people didn't vote the way that they voted, that it was, some sort of foreign entity that got involved. And also, honestly, that's where, I need to sound off, what Russians are saying on the Russian side about this whole thing. That's when the so-called Russophobia started. I have never
What?
Russophobia.
What's that? Oh, Russia phobia.
Yes, yes. So it's actually a term that has been used around the world. And that's when it started, really. And I remember that time, and it was really surprising to me because I have never, since I came to this country, I did not feel, any kind of animosity or, hostility towards me being from Russia. But until that point, that's when I started feeling that people were kind of like on the news. You hear, this constant barrage of accusations towards, the Russian government, and of course, it trickles down to Russian people as well. People don't see them as honest, or they think that we're all spies or something like that. It's ridiculous. Like, this kind of lies, it affects everybody, and really, I'm upset about it personally.
I am too. I am too. We have to stay passionate about this and sound the alarm, because I want to see people held accountable as well. I mean, they intentionally try to go past our election system, and like you mentioned, they try to fail to make our democracy uproot our democracy, I should say. So I want to see something too, and I want to dig into this, because what they did is against the law. So December 8th, 2016, Intel Community prepares the report showing no Russia interference. December 9th, Obama directs the creation of a new assessment to claim Russian meddling, overriding previous findings. Then what they do? They leaked the intel it was spoon-fed to the Washington Post, the New York Times, and others to spin the hoax. And of course, we don't have an investigative media any longer. And reporters like Michael Isikoff helped carry water for Obama's team. It was all built on lies, misinformation, and politically motivated deceit. And as we've mentioned before on this show, this is the Marxist toolkit to undermine our institutions, our media. This is all part of that. And as you mentioned, Yana, this was the beginning of it in a huge way. The American people were gaslit for years while the media smeared Trump as a Russian puppet. Every institution was touched by it.
Everything. And let me say this, KJ, and I mean, at the risk of sounding like, helpless or whatever, I'm going to take that risk. And I don't think we are helpless. But two things, many times, if not most, we will almost never see people, and I'm not just this case, but historically, we never see people get prosecuted. Not the elites, not the people in powerful positions, or where they once were. We don't see it. And the biggest issue to that, or the biggest challenge, is because there's so much time that happens or goes past between the actual events and then when we start getting the reports or even the hearings or whatever. So there's so much time. In that time, we have maybe one or two generations that are coming up far removed from the actual events. So time in that sense is not necessarily on our side. And it almost seems to never matter who is in charge or what party is in charge of the administration. Again, because prosecutions almost never happen. We might get some hearings, we may get some subpoenas, but it goes by because time keeps ticking. This is the part that makes it so frustrating. This is why people become cynical and kind of like throw your hands up. Like, what the hell are we supposed to do? So I'm not saying that we should not do anything. I'm just saying let's be real. Are we really going to see prosecutions? I don't think we are. In as much as we need all of the information, all of the details, I'm not holding out my breath for prosecutions. If we get the information, we probably will, might just rest assured that's all we're going to have.
Well, I'm there with you, but it's on us. It's on us. This is why shows like ours are so important, because we got to continue holding these people's feet to the fire. We got to continue sounding the alarm. We can't let this go by the wayside and get brushed aside and not stay in the headlines. The Patriots have to stand up and demand accountability, because this has done major damage to our institutions, to our voting system, to public trust. And this is exactly what Marxist globalists want to happen here in America. And it's up to you all in the comments. It's up to us right here to continue to sound alarm and hold them accountable. Yana, you had something?
Yeah, I was going to add something. Also, geopolitically, this has caused a lot of damage, because really, America needs to, that's my hope, needs to stop seeing Russia as a perpetual enemy. Like, yes, we can have disagreements, but what Obama has done, it created this chain reaction that caused more of a rift between two countries. And really, American people do not benefit from this rift. Nobody really benefits. And really, my goal is, if the United States and Russia had better relations, then the world would be a safer place. We would really be solving problems together. And these two powerful nations that can really put, EU in place, they can put Islamic terrorism into place. So really stop with this demonizing of Russia. And really, American people need to understand that when we are together, we're stronger.
Yeah. All right. Well, as we said, we will continue calling these people out, folks, and we need your help. So again, our goal by the end of the summer, Labor Day, is to hit 200,000 subscribers. We can do it with your help. Please like this video as you come in. We need every like. It helps to get YouTube to push us out in front of a wider audience. And subscribe, share this in a DM, share it on your social media, on your timelines. We got to grow this movement. We can't let this go by the wayside. We got to keep this in the forefront of people's minds, because this is very important on so many levels. All right. So I do believe we have some super chatters here. Thank you all so much. Let's see here. Kung Fu CJ with the $5 super chat says, Shelly E is correct. I watched this while in the military. Yes, indeed. Earlene, thank you so much, Earlene. And we see the chat is on fire. Looks like people are going back and forth over over Russia and our relationship with Russia and this Russian hoax done by the Obama administration. So definitely keep sounding off. We have Alpha Buckeye. Russia is another Christian country. We should be allies. Okay. All right. Yeah. I thought I saw something else there too. Yeah. So we'll keep it up.
There was something about some program in the comments. And I don't understand what this person is talking about.
It says
here. Talking about perestroika?
1985.
The program started by the Soviets to try to recruit Westerners with influence they could make useful idiots. They found one in Donnie. He went to Moscow in 1987.
All right. We're not the 1980s anymore.
Right.
Newsflash. We're not. And another news flash, Russia is not a communist country. The Soviet Union has ended in 1991. I was there.
All right. We will keep talking and sounding off about this, folks. All right. Next, we got to move to our side this time. So Representative Maria Salazar. Yes. All right. So they call it the Dignity Act, but there's nothing dignified about selling out American workers to please big donors and globalist interests. So while citizens demand secure borders and fair wages, Congress is plotting amnesty. Take a look at this next clip, clip 3.
If you are undocumented and you have been in the country for more than 5 years, you do not have a criminal record, you're working and paying taxes, you can come out of the shadows with no fear and apply for the dignity status. That means they will pay a fine of $7,000 over 7 years, buy their own health insurance with no access to any federal programs, and contribute 1% of their salary to the United States Treasury. That is $50 billion plus. Just do the math. In return, they will never be deported. They will be able to go home for Christmas or to go bury their mother and come back to the United States to continue working and paying taxes. It gives them a dignified life in the promised land. Period.
All right. So let's get into this, ladies. Again, that was Representative Maria Salazar. She's actually a Republican, and she's pushing the so-called Dignity Act. It offers amnesty to illegals, including those who voted in federal elections. Pretty much betrays the conservative base that overwhelmingly supports mass deportations, not open borders. What are your thoughts on this, Nicole?
You know, I've had enough of her. Dignity. How about dignity for American-born people? How about that? How about not spending my tax dollars? And you want to give amnesty to people who've been here for longer than 5 years, right? So if I'm someone who jumped the border, I'm saying, okay, all I have to do is just hang out for 5 years, and then I can pay off the United States government with $7,000, and I can never be deported? Bullshit. You're a guest in my nation. Absolutely a guest. You can be deported for committing crime. You can be deported for being a part of a criminal conspiracy, even when you're a green card holder. This blanket amnesty does not work. We have immigration law on the books now that would work great if somebody would just take some time to enforce it. They all have to go. They should all be repatriated to their home countries. Those who don't want to go home, they can go somewhere else. They just got to get the hell out of here. Then we can sit back and say, all right, now what do we do? But we have to get back to ground zero, and there cannot be any amnesty, most assuredly not for $7,000 and 1% of their income. The promised land, this land's not promised to anybody except for those of us who were born under the stars and stripes. This is not the promised land. What is she talking about? I will say this, and I mean this from a political standpoint. There are Democrats who run as Republicans because they live in a Republican district. We call them little R's, right? For a very good reason. And she's one of those R's. The people that she should be looking to give dignity to are the American citizens that she represents, not the illegals that are hiding in her district. She's got it all wrong.
Yeah. I mean, Shelley, this bill revives Biden's labor neighbors and Bush's any willing worker schemes, floods the U.S. labor markets with low-wage foreign workers, both blue-collar and white-collar. What are your thoughts on this bill?
My thoughts are I'm sick of these congressmen and senators selling out Americans. That's number one. We have had so many so-called amnesty bills, or maybe they really were called amnesty bills, at least since Ronald Reagan, 1986. We've tried all of these, and many of them, or some of them, have been proposed by Republicans. And yes, they may have been signed into office. Why do we still have undocumented workers here? At least since 1986. We should have no more, right? Because theoretically, the people who were phased in or grandfathered in, they should have all been done, certainly by 1986, and we should not have any more. But no, our numbers of undocumented or illegal aliens have increased more and more. I'm sick of our congressmen, senators, elected officials, bureaucrats selling out Americans. You were not elected to represent illegal and undocumented people. That's not what your job is. Your job is to uphold the Constitution and to protect and secure America's borders and Americans. We are the taxpayers. We pay your damn salaries. I'm sick of it. I don't want any more bills saying how to make paths to citizenship. The path to citizenship is you go to your embassy or wherever you are, you apply for citizenship, you do the match the criteria. I'm sorry, you meet the criteria, take whatever test, all of those, and bring your ass here legally. That's it. I'm tired of people, I don't know how they get here. I'm just going to say swimming the Rio Grande, or maybe somehow or another they swim the Atlantic Oceans or wherever. Planes, trains, buses, ships. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of all of these. This is our problem. This is our problem. They're part of the swamp culture. Again, these senators, congressmen, anybody else that keeps saying paths to immigration or paths to legal citizenship. No, the only path to legal citizenship is number one, being born here and coming here correctly. I'm sick of these people. I don't care if they're Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, Independent. I don't care. You are treasonous.
Yeah. Yana, I want to get your thoughts on this. So, we've been talking about these illegal immigrants and the immigration system on a whole for a very long time, but we don't talk about what the left says. And one of their biggest talking points is they say undocumented immigrants already pay billions in taxes and contribute to Social Security they'll never collect. And so the point is, they're used to portray illegal immigrants as responsible community members deserving of legal recognition, particularly if they have been here, have broken no laws other than crossing the border illegally, and have been, other than that, exemplary citizens. What are your thoughts? What is your response to that?
It is a difficult situation. And of course, from an ethical standpoint, in some ways, they're not wrong when they say that. Because when you have a broken system, when you have a border that is open, when you don't have enforcement for decades, then this is the consequence. People will be moving in, and because people are always looking for a better life, and if they know that it's relatively easy to get in here illegally, they will. And it is true that oftentimes, I mean, of course, they pay taxes when they buy things here. They can't avoid it. Also, a lot of times they use fake Social Security numbers that, somehow, taxes are being paid. They're not receiving anything back. So it is true that it's an issue. It's an ethical question, really. However, when you have something like an amnesty, it creates a more of an incentive for more illegals to begin their journey here. So right now we see on the news that there are no crossings at this point, because there's enforcement here right now. But as soon as this bill, if it passes, the news is going to travel around the world that, you know what, if you enter here, if you stay here for a period of time, then you can apply for amnesty, and people are going to start to try to get here again. Mm-hmm. Also, how logistically, so basically she's saying that the legal immigrants right now have to self-report. That's what she's saying. So that means that are the ICE raids going to stop? Like, how are we going to figure out who's been here for 5 years and or more or less? Like, it's just going to create more of a bureaucracy issue. So another thing I have to say is, I've been seeing all these ICE raids, okay, but then what is going on with the employers? Why are so many of these people employed here? And I don't hear anything about consequences for those employers. So that is what I would like to see, because that would be a deterrent already. So if you fine an employer, let's say $10,000 per illegal alien, maybe they'll stop hiring them, and maybe they will stop trying to get here.
That's a very good point. And that's the real agenda. It's these globalist economics and demographic transformation. So proponents of this type of bill want low pay, high migration economies, just like over in the UK and Canada, where birth rates are plummeting. The housing becomes unaffordable, wages fall, families suffer, and China builds while we stall. So the goal, again, is what, like you mentioned, with these employers, they want more consumers, cheaper labor, and fewer independent American families. But let me ask you this, and again, I want to dig into this. You know, the left is saying sort of similarly to, you go to a store and the store has issued, they've sent out flyers saying we've got a sale on shoes. This shoe is actually $5. And you come on in and get as many shoes as you like. And when you go into the store, it says $5. But when you get to the checkout, it says, oh, this was not correct. This is incorrect. This was a incorrect flyer. These are actually $30 shoes. Well, generally you could say, well, that's bad business. It's false advertisement. You know, you can't do that. You've advertised the $5, so I should be able to pay $5. It's sort of similar to what we've seen over the last couple of years with this immigration system, where you have these Democrats, despicable Democrats, who have advertised open borders, come one, come all. We get all these millions of illegals here, and now we're trying to kick them out. Is that fair? Nicole?
Yes, it's fair. Kick them the hell out. Let me tell you something. So Yana has it right. This is what we need. If someone's going to write a bill, I would say this. Employers who employ people who don't come back clean on their I-9, that kind of thing, should have a $50,000 per incident fine. That's going to dry that up right there. The people who are writing the
we lost Nicole.
Cars, covering them with insurance.
Oh.
I
want
there she is.
Back. Okay, so $50,000 per incident for bankers who give them mortgages, for people who sell them cars, for people who sell them insurance. All of these people need to be penalized. And when we take away all the things that they feel like makes them quote unquote citizens, they will go home or go somewhere else where they can freeload off those people. But we've got to get very serious about it. But until Congress writes a bill that says that, what we're going to have is employers who say, I'd rather hire the illegal for $8.50 than pay $21.50 to the native born American who's going to do the same work, probably take the same amount of days off, but this person is cheaper. I just need to fudge some of the HR paperwork. We've got to get them held accountable for their actions 100%. Once we take away all of the treats for coming, they will stop coming. But it's going to take a concerted effort by our Congress, who's probably on vacation, kind of like I am, not getting anything done.
Yeah. And I want to say this, KJ, I'm sorry. And therein lies another problem, the bureaucracy of it all. Bureaucracy, business owners, employers, they can maybe fudge the paperwork. They might pay some fines. They may or may not, like you mentioned, the E-Verify system, the I-9. But Congress is the one that is creating all of this bureaucracy. It keeps the Congress employed. It keeps the business owners with a pool of people to choose from at a lower cost wage. It's a mess. It's a mess. We keep talking about more laws, when we had the basic ones already on the books that we don't even enforce, but we want to make more. We want everybody to have a position and have their name on a bill, and nothing works for the interest or the best interest of the Americans who are out here slinging it every day, hustling, paying the taxes, footing the bill. What do we get? We get more dirt kicked in our face. We get more, what's her name? Salazar's. We get more McCain type bills, if you will. We get nothing but poop thrown at us in our face, and then we keep saying, oh, another bill, another law. We don't need any more bills and laws. We don't even need any more congressmen and senators right now. Let's just get the ones out that are selling us out, get them out, enforce whatever the laws are we already have, which we have enough already, and let's do the work that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, let's talk about the sellouts, folks. Let's talk about the Republican sellouts who are doing this. So, of course, we have these are the ones in the GOP calling for amnesty. Maria Salazar, of course, in Florida, Dan Newhouse in Washington, Brian Fitzpatrick in Pennsylvania, Mike Lawler in New York, Don Beacon in New England. I'm sorry, what's NE? Is that New England?
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska. Mario Diaz-Balart in Florida, Mike Kelly in Pennsylvania, Gabe Evans in Colorado, Marlon Stutzman in Indiana, Young Kim in California, and David Valadao in California. So as it kind of, well, some of them are in the South, but most of these are in blue states, it looks like. These are the Republicans that are calling for mass amnesty. So these are the lawmakers choosing donors over citizens. We need to call them out. We need to get this list out to the patriots and get them out of office. It's just as simple as that. And, you know, also President Trump is feeling the sting on this a little bit. So the Wall Street Journal says only Trump can pass real reform code for amnesty. Conservative watchdogs warn Trump may cave on enforcement, especially for farm and hospitality industries. He already did something about farmers a couple of weeks ago.
He basically said that they were thinking about not deporting. They're going to let the farmers decide. They're not going to do this mass deportation of illegal farm workers. So it's kind of like in this holding status, if you will. But you're right. He's taking some hits on that.
Yeah.
Well,
so
it is a problem. There's so many issues here. Yes, you know, these people are primarily working. You know, yes, they're bad actors, they're bad people that have crossed the border because there's no vetting. So, but majority of them are working. So how is it going to affect the economy? That's the question. You know, also ethically, I mean, it created a crazy mess. Like I do feel for people who have been here for 20 years, that had children grew up here, and they have to go back. Like I can't, you know, that would be hard. That would be super hard. And like I understand all of this, and I just want to say that as Republicans, we don't hate human beings. We just can't have this happening, you know, decade after decade, and have these type of consequences on our economy, on our citizens, and on people who end up here. Also, what about the border and how many people have died trying to cross the border? It cannot continue.
Yeah. Nicole, it looks like you got that look on your face like I could give a damn.
Listen, don't give two. I wish I wasn't on vacation. Well, let's not say that. If I weren't on vacation, I'd hold up my little pouch and say fucks to give. Let me tell you, I'd give them all out today. I'd pass them around like candies. I have had enough of this amnesty rhetoric. You don't get to rob a bank and keep the money because it took them 10 years to catch you. You don't get to rape and kill because it took them 10 years to catch you. You get away with it. Absolute bullshit. These people take money out of my pocket every single week that I have to pay these high taxes. And you three know Maryland is outrageously taxed state because we have so many illegal people in the crappy ass jobs that they're working. Let them go. You want to know what it's going to do with the economy? You know, Hector and Marisol are going to be let go, and Tyrone and Phyllis may get a job. It will employ the people who have been pushed out of the job market. I've had enough of this bullshit. They got to go home. Go home. You want to apply, you want to have your amnesty hearing, we can do it just like we're doing it now. We can do it over StreamYard. We can do it over Zoom. Take your ass home and try again.
Exactly.
Go home.
Yeah. One of the things, again, I'm just playing this out. It just came to my mind. I don't have all of the details, but one of the things I think might need to happen is there are so many, what do you call them? Political interest groups, if you will, that influence financially influence our representatives, our elected officials, bureaucrats. There's so much deep influence with these pockets of whatever corporation, this group. Everybody's influencing them except for Americans who vote. And so I don't know to what degree that could change, if it should change or what. Again, these are just thoughts, but I do know that when they take the oath of office, you didn't take an oath of office to represent corporation XYZ. You took an oath of office to represent the American people and the American Constitution. That's the bottom line. And anything that goes against that, either if you can't represent that, then you don't need to be in office, or you represent the Constitution and American people. That's your choice. That should be it.
All right. We got some super chatters here, and the chat is on fire. Woo! I see you guys. All right. We have here Alpha Buckeyes with tip jar. Thank you so much, Alpha Buckeye. All right. He says we voted for mass deportations, no amnesty. All right. There it is. Kung Fu CJ, Nicole, they are rhinos. Yes, indeed.
Yes, they are. Mm-hmm.
All right. Kung Fu CJ says Yana is on point with her take. All right. There it is. Nicole is on vacation. Thank you, Kung Fu CJ. Thank you so much. Your super chats go a long way, folks, in helping us push out this content. And we really appreciate it. Thank you so much. You really don't know how much these super chats help us. So we appreciate you all, every last one. Laura says, how does the Arab community get here and open store and gas stations with the $5 super chat? Yes, indeed. All right. Yeah. Josh went with the $20 super chat. Says we can't take this many people. Black and white English speaking American Christians are the founders of this country and need to remain the cultural majority. Otherwise, we become Iraq or Honduras. Yeah, he's right. He's right.
Absolute truth.
Yeah.
Absolute truth.
So we will continue to follow this story. It's a hard one. It is hard. But sometimes we got to make hard decisions. So again, this bill isn't really about dignity. It's about dispossession. The elites are selling us out and using our faith, values, and our compassion against us. So you guys, please continue to sound off on this. Don't fall for it. Stand your ground. Defend the American worker. And this is what we will continue to do as well. All right, folks, that does it for us tonight. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on this Friday Night Live. Final thoughts from each of you ladies. I'll start with you, Yana.
Enjoy the rest of the summer. I mean, I'm saying that because I'm a teacher. So I'm just thinking how much summer is left. So, I mean, enjoy the weather, enjoy your life, and don't be so angry all the time.
All right. Nicole, final thoughts.
Listen, it's a privilege to have been born under the stars and stripes. It's a blessing from the Creator to have been born here. So I get why people want to be here, but there's a way to do it. And it works because hundreds of thousands of people have done it. Our passion to protect our nation is something that every American should be saying. Yes, everybody wants to be here. It's an amazing thing to be an American. It is absolutely wonderful, but you cannot bully us into making you a citizen of this nation. You have to follow the law and follow the tracks that everyone else did. So I love that everybody loves America and wants to be like us, but come on, folks, we got to do it the right way so that it's fair to everybody involved.
All right. Final thoughts on this, Shelley.
Well, look, Nicole, I'm piggybacking what you said. If you love Americans and you love America and you want to be us or be like us, then do it the right way, number one, okay? Don't come here and then want us to be like wherever shithole, thanks, President Trump, that you just left. Don't do that, okay? Because we can't go to whatever country in Europe, wherever else, and just say, oh, we're going to show up and we're going to be Japanese or the Swiss people or whatever. It's not going to happen. We're going to be hemmed up, and you need to be too. This is our country. I'm inviting you to be an American legally. stand for our Constitution. Damn it, too many of our fellow Americans have died on our soil and on other people's soil for these same rights, and to even help other people have the rights that we have. I don't want to do them any injustice to that. Those people are lying in their graves, and we are benefiting from their death. Unfortunately, we have these airways, we have our freedoms, we have our Constitution. I want to honor them in their service, in their sacrifice. You should too. Don't come here with your bullshit, because I'm sick of it. And so are a whole host of other Americans. We're not going to take it anymore. And if President Trump, if he's on the wrong side of this issue, he better get right. Call me weak, whatever you want, President Trump. I still love you. I support you. But you can be wrong on some things. In this particular issue, you might be. But I don't think you're going to be in the long term. I think you're going to come around like you usually do. Have a great weekend, everybody. Hit the like, share, and subscribe button. Like KJ said in the beginning, we are on our way to 200,000. We are almost there, but we cannot do it without you. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button, and you can become a Poppy and a member of our Pop family too.
Absolutely. All right. I'm with you, every one of you. I'm with you all on it. I mean, it's hard. I get that it's hard. And this is a hard situation, and my heart goes out to anyone that it has been working here, has been paying into our economy, has been following our laws, and actually loves the country. Because guess what? These people, even though they came here wrong, they've put down roots, and I do believe they love the country. Some of them love the country, but we can't reward lawlessness. We can't. And justice includes protecting families, national identity, and lawful order. So again, we must love our neighbor, but we got to also defend our home. So it's tough, but hopefully, I just thank God for favor. That's all I can, because we're here, we're legal, and just thank God for favor. So again, folks, continue the conversation in the chat. We see it going off. Again, like Shelly just said, we need those subs. We need those likes. The likes help to get us out in front of a wider audience. So hit the like button as you all come in and subscribe. We got one more super chat. Kung Fu CJ says, great show, ladies. God bless you all. God bless you too. Kung Fu CJ is always here for us.
Yes.
I mean, he with the supers, with the comments, we appreciate you. We appreciate our moderators as well.
Absolutely. That's right.
Yes. Thank you all. Thank you all for moderating, for helping out tonight. You keep the chat fire. We appreciate every last one of you. This is a family that we are growing here, and we love all of you guys. So thank you so much. We'll be back on Monday at 9 p.m. In the meantime, check out Just the Guys tomorrow at Just the Guys Podcast. That's here right on YouTube at Just the Guys Podcast. They will be on at 6:30 tomorrow evening, Saturday. If you haven't done so, go over there and subscribe right now. So that way you know when they go live. They're live every Saturday at 6:30 p.m. giving you conservative thoughts from a male perspective. Check them out. All right. Until next time, count your blessings and live a life of purpose. Good night.